welcome to How to Design Puzzle Boxes video 4. In this video we're going to go through how these hinges are designed and how they're going to fit to a new modification of the back wall. So to start off with, let's see how these are actually going to fit in there. So the first thing you're going to notice is there is a opening and there's a bit of a groove that's fit onto this hinge, and then essentially they will slide down, locking into place. So then you'll essentially have a hook that comes around holding onto the wall, and then this piece here will hold into the wall as well. So there's two parts that are holding the hinge there. So let's take a look at the wall to begin with and go from there. Here you can see that I have the wall, and looking at it you can see I had did a sketch to start off with that was 1 1/4 inch tall by 0.3125 plus 10 thou. And this is to fit the groove portion that's going to fit past the wall and then slide down. So I basically considered 5/8 of an inch times 2 for the height of this, because that's how tall the groove portion is on the hinge, and we'll look at that in a minute. And then the second part I did is I went and I made another extrusion that is 1/8 plus a 64th for the width, and that's because I made the part that's sliding down 1/8 of an inch thick, and then I actually did 5/8 minus a 16th, and this is to allow enough of a gap so that the 5/8 piece will slide in and then lock down. So let's take a look at the hinge and see how that's designed. So here you can see the hinge itself, and essentially it's going to have two main components that I had to design. The first being the groove. So the way that I designed this groove is I essentially made it 3.3125 on both the front and back for width. I made them 1/8 of an inch thick, and then the last thing I did is I made this 1/8 of an inch plus 0.015, which is about a 64th of an inch, and then I made this 1/8 of an inch, and that's going to fit this groove in here. The next thing I did to decide the height is I essentially measured from the bottom of this groove to here, and then added 10 thou in order to make sure that it'll clear the wall height-wise, and that's what you'll see here. The next thing I did is I cut away the material and made sure I just had 5/8 of an inch and the backing. After that, what I did is I had to figure out the height of this piece so that it'll be cleared. So the way I did that is I essentially constrained this to the top of the groove, and then I measured from the top of here, or the bottom of this face here, to the top of the wall, and then I just kind of decided what I wanted for a dimension for that. And then when this comes down to 0, it essentially has at least a decent amount of holding there. So it even covers the groove a little bit. The last thing I did was, of course, made the pin, and this I haven't really finally decided yet. It'll really depend on how the lid's made, but for now I made it 0.1875 and made sure that it was the same around the center point on all sides. So that's essentially how I designed that hinge. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, this is Tyler with 3D Printer Store, and I hope you have a great day.